Now let's start assembling the cabinet as a whole. First, after replacing the right side panel and the cabinet, we can stand it up. Next, let's assemble this corner single-door cabinet. Start by connecting the front panel and the bottom panel of the cabinet. Then, connect the bottom panel and the front decorative panel to the left side panel of the single-door cabinet. Now, connect the right side panel at the single-door cabinet. Below are eccentric wheels that can be locked. This is the back panel of the single-door cabinet. These two arcs are the finished panels of the cabinet. Now, connect the assembled corner and back panel. The next step is to start placing the tabletops. After the large tabletop is installed, we'll begin installing the small tabletop. At this position on the right side panel of the single door cabinet, we need to install a corner bracket to connect the large and small tabletops together. This side is for connecting the large tabletop. On the other side, we also need to install a bracket. Okay, let's start installing the decorative panel for this tabletop. Support the left and right small tabletops. First, attach them to this back panel. Then, install the small tabletops. Then the next step. If there's LED light strips, we can install them now. If we have LED light strips, install them like this first. Then, we'll start installing the small tabletops. Align them with the holes and plug them in. Then lock them in place. This outlines the front profile of the desk. That's the overall setup. Then the next step is to start installing the drawer and keyboard tray. You just push it in and then pull it out. And it will come off. Let's shoot a video for installing a drawer now. First, there are pre-embedded dowels. All of them need to be fitted with this black connecting rod. After fitting the black connecting rod, we can start assembling. Inside this large circular hole, we need to install this eccentric wheel. This eccentric wheel has a small arrow with a plus and minus sign in the middle. The position corresponding to this arrow is where the black connecting rod inserts. let's take a look at this. This arrow should point towards the place where the black rod inserts. Just give it a twist, and it will lock the black connecting rod in place. Now let's start installing the drawer front. The principle is the same, using the eccentric screw to lock the black connecting rod. Once done, the entire frame is assembled. Then we need to install two small rails. One on the left side and one on the right. The bottom of these small rails should be flush with the bottom panel. And the front end must be against the drawer. Then simply screw in the screws. There are no pre-drilled holes. You need to drill them yourself. Both sides need to be installed, one rail on each side. The installation method is the same for both. Alright, with the rails installed, let's move on to fitting the bottom panel. This bottom panel has a groove. It must fit into the groove first. Insert the bottom panel through this groove. Once inserted properly, at the back, you'll use the self-tapping screws provided to screw in the bottom panel directly. Usually, 8 screws are enough. Next, let's locate the lock. Then, install the lock through the pre-drilled hole. There's a decorative screw-clip on the outside. And inside, you'll also use the self-tapping screws provided to secure it. Be careful when tightening this screw. If you use too much force, especially with a power tool, it may strip the screw.